a 6-minute talk on engine cooling, pretty much how it's done. Alright, so an overview, this is the cooling system of your engine. Everybody knows car engine, you burn fuel, produce a large amount of heat. Coolant water mixture acts as a working fluid to cool your engine. I'm either just going to call it coolant or fluid. I'm not going to call it coolant fluid or coolant water mixture every time. So basic components, you got your radiator, your coolant tubing and lines all throughout, your water pump, your thermostat, and then the heater core. So the coolant water mixture, it cycles through the system and removes heat from the block and the head in your engine. There's like cooling jackets. This is like the part I thought was kind of cool because I didn't know. Like the holes, like where it's highlighted in red and stuff, is like actually where the coolant goes through your engine. There's a bunch of different types of coolant. These are just some ideas of it. I know I use Dexcool in my car. I guess that's a common one. Don't know. This is just a better visual of that cooling jacket whenever the head is actually on the block. How it just surrounds like everything and actually goes like through the engine. So your radiator, it's located in the front of the engine bay. It's just a heat exchanger. Some subcomponents of your radiator is you have tanks. There's an upper and a lower tank. High temp coolant goes to the top tank from the engine, and then low temperature coolant goes out the bottom tank. And then there's also the radiator cap and fans not on the picture for subcomponents. Then the coolant is going to move vertically from top to bottom, so from the top tank to the lower tank, and it is cooled with incoming air. Alright, so the fans, whenever your car is moving slow or at idle, the fans will kick on to help pull that air through to cool your coolant for you. There's a temperature sensor located usually by the engine coolant outlet or the radiator inlet, and that's also the sensor also is what displays your temperature inside your car, like on the instrument cluster. Your radiator cap, whenever the pressure or the temperature rises in the system, the pressure is going to rise. The radiator cap is actually designed to release some of the coolant whenever the pressure gets too high out to the expansion valve, and then just goes in reverse whenever pressure lowers. So your thermostat pretty much splits your system into two circuits. The long one is, so like when the engine actually needs to be cooled, you'll have your long circuit right here. I don't know if y'all can see that purple or not, but that's what pumps in the cold coolant. And then your shorter, smaller circuit right here is whenever your car doesn't need to be cooled, it just keeps it at like the regular temperature. And then, so your thermostat will actually, there's different kinds of them. Some of them will open to allow a mixture of cold coolant into it, and some of them will just open fully. Let's see, and then there's different types of thermostats you can get. You can get ones that also just make your car run cooler in general. So your water pump right here, I mean, everybody knows the pump, what it is. This one's a centrifugal pump. It's belt driven by the engine. And then your heater core. So your heater core is behind the firewall, actually inside your car. That is what is used to heat the inside of your car. So like if you first get in your car and you turn your heater on, it's not gonna heat your car up because your engine's not hot. So I mean, like, who really cares, you know? So I just wanted to see what this really meant. So I pulled my car in the garage and cooled it down for a very long time. And then I went through and I marked, oh wow, these pictures suck. I marked a bunch of spots in my engine through the system with a paint marker to take measurements, so make sure I do it at the same spot every time. Then I had my assistant get the thermodynamic properties of my coolant for me, and then I went through for 40 minutes just taking temperature measurements over and over and over again. So pretty much it took about 10 minutes for my car to get at operating temperature. You can see that right here. So the radiator inlet, so from the engine to the radiator, that's where you see this spike right here, because it's not going to have that hot coolant coming in until the car's at temperature, because then it starts cycling. Then the yellow over here is my exhaust manifold temperatures I was taking just for like this is all in degrees Celsius, I don't know if I'll put that on here. Just for like a sanity check, because the exhaust manifold has nothing actually going through cooling it. Just the head and the engine block is what has the coolant cycling through. So, and then I actually remember at around 16 minutes, I heard the fans kick on. And then you could see right here, so the fans kick on right here, and then you can tell that the coolant actually starts cycling from the radiator from the temperature drop. And then another thing I tried after, I think it was, okay, after 26 minutes, I went inside my car and I turned the heater on to see how much that would actually pull from the system. And then you can see right here where the temperature starts to drop after that. So when your car is overheating and they tell you to turn your heater on, I guess it actually does work. And then just some extra things for analysis. The thermodynamic properties of my coolant. Ignore the velocity of the impeller right here, but for the water pump, what's actually cycling the coolant, I went through and then I got a rough estimate of the volumetric flow rate for my coolant using some of the water pump specs, and then I couldn't get too much into it because I pretty much have to take my water pump apart, so then I went to Google and got just average values, and then using my my change in temperature over the system, figured out the heat rejected through the radiator. Just a rough estimate, don't really know how accurate it is, but 152 horsepower just at idle of energy just down the drain, and all the gas that I burned for 40 minutes in my garage. And then here's my sources. Do I have any questions?